Hello everyone. In this series we are going to talk about Indian economy, and here we are following the 12th edition of Ramesh Singh. You can have the PDF. It's available online or you can buy it. So this book is very important for those who are aspiring for civil service examinations. So Ramesh Singh, the author of the book, and here we have. So like I will this is how the book look like, and we are moving to the here you can see about the civil service exam, how it look like, and how many papers are there which you and what are the optional subjects available for main exam. You must have already know and have decided if you are preparing for civil service exam. So here are the content, and we will start with chapter 1, that is introduction of Indian economy, and here we are going to have these topics to discuss. Then like all these chapters are mentioned there, so like we are going to cover each of these chapters one by one. And the importance of this book is this book is written in very simple language. It has tried to explain economics, uh, so that each and everyone who even do not have any basic of economics can learn a lot from it. So this is our chapter 1. Economics is the study of how goods and services are produced, distributed and consumed. बेसिकली इट इज़ दैट ब्रांच ऑफ साइंस और इकोनॉमिक्स जहाँ पर हम लोग देखते हैं कि गुड्स एंड सर्विसेज किस तरह प्रोड्यूस होते हैं, किस तरह डिस्ट्रीब्यूट किए जाते हैं, किस तरह कंज्यूम किए जाते हैं. और हम लोग को पता है कि जितने भी हमारे रिसोर्सेज हैं आर ऑलवेज इन शॉर्ट सप्लाई. So, the British economist Lionel Robbins in 1935 described the discipline as the science of scarcity. हम लोग पता है कि हमारे आसपास जो भी रिसोर्सेज है वो शॉर्टेज है, उसकी सप्लाई शॉर्टेज है. सो इकोनॉमिक्स को साइंस ऑफ स्कार्सिटी भी के नाम से भी डिस्क्राइब किया जाता है बाय डिफरेंट इकोनॉमिस्ट. So in this chapter we are going to talk about more than a decimal science. Economics is more than a decimal science. Then we will going to define economics, micro and macro. What is an economy? Economic system, Washington Consensus, Beijing Consensus, and Santiago. And national income, revised method comparing GVA and GDP, fixed base to chain based method, standing committee on economic statistics and income estimates for 2019 to 20. सो मोर देन अ डिस्मल साइंस. इकोनॉमिक्स को बोला गया है डिस्मल साइंस. डिस्मल मीन्स प्रिसाइजली अ डिप्रेसिंग और पुअर साइंस. अब बता सकते हैं क्यों. सो लाइक वी आर गोइंग टू डिस्कस. अदर देन दिस द डिसिप्लिन हैज also been criticized for being a kind of riddle for common people to comprehend. So like basically in economics, the one who has no economics background, no finance background, they find it very difficult to understand the basics and everything. So like they even do not understand what is GDP, what is GVA, what are the difference between the two. So this is not an easy subject. Okay, this is definitely a kind of riddle. One who has no one who has never studied any the basics of it. So it is also called it has been also called a failed science, and this has different reason. Because after there was we all know that there was US subprime crisis of year 2008. So economics was not able to predict this. So this after this failure it has been called a failed science. So still nobody can deny the invaluable role played by economics to make this world a better place for humanity. But after all, we know that economics has been called a dismal science. It's not easy for common people to comprehend it, or It has been also called a failed science after the US subprime crisis of 2008. Still, it has played a very invaluable role to make this world a better place for humanity. So that is why study of economics is very important. So let us understand economics. Understanding economics and its nuances have always been a challenge, especially for those who come from no background in it. It doesn't mean that those with a background, like university educated in it, are very comfortable. Great many of such people face an altogether different sort of problem. They understand less economics than they know. So what it is saying ki economics is not an easy subject. We all can accept it, but um, for those people who have no background, it's definitely a difficult subject. But हम लोग ये नहीं बोल सकते कि one who has economic subjects in their graduation, post graduation, they also know economics very well. No, that's not a case, because even though they understand, मतलब they know economics, but they don't understand it well. Like we are missing the application dimensions. Like there are theoretical dimension of economics, and then there are applicatory dimension of economics, and people are missing that part. So even if you studied economics, it is not sure like you know the application of economics in day-to-day life. Today, emphasis is being on the application of economics, especially in the competitive exams. Knowing economics is not enough, rather than one is required to have the ability to apply economics in everyday life. And this is only possible if one understand economics. So अब क्वेश्चंस देखोगे, आज का इकोनॉमिक्स नॉट, इट इज नॉट बेस्ड ऑन theoretical knowledge. Only knowing is not enough, applying is also enough. So you have to apply in your day-to-day life. So whenever we learn any new concept, try to relate it with your day-to-day life. We will deep dive here to our daily life wherever we use economics. I will explain you later in the chapter. So making economics easier for both categories of the readers have been one of the prime aim of this book. So here it is described how this book can be useful for you. So now we are going to have the definition of economics. Simply putting, economics study economic activities of the human being. This is a working definition. So whatever activity of human beings that involve economic, that is what economics studies. So you know, humanities, there is a subject, there are a lot of subjects in the humanities branch, like psychology and anthropology, sociology. So humanities are intricately connected, as all aim to study the differentiated human activities. That is why interdisciplinary approach to study humanities is considered wiser. So all the branches of economics, all the branches of humanities are, they are intricately connected, so that we can study the different human activities. That is why so it is actually, we have to go through all the interdisciplinary approach we have to take. We don't have to concentrate in one activity. Humanity is a very vast field of study of human beings. So like humanities are academic disciplines that study aspects of human society and culture, and it include like study of ancient and modern languages, literature, philosophy, history, archaeology, anthropology, human geography, law, politics, religion, and art. So it is always better that we have an interdisciplinary approach to study humanities. So what are economic activity? So wherever money is involved can be called economic activity. So जहाँ भी money subject question में आ जाता है, there comes an economic motive or gain. For example, getting a job. आप जॉब लेना चाहते हो, और यू आर प्रोवाइडिंग जॉब, और you are buying or selling something, doing a business, so on and so forth. So things are still a bit complicated. So suppose when you go for prayers in temples or religious places, it is clearly not an economic activity. What so आप गए प्रेयर करने भगवान को, तो अभी तक आप कोई मनी इन्वॉल्व नहीं है, तो दिस इज नॉट एन इकोनॉमिक एक्टिविटी. बट वॉट अबाउट वेन यू लाइक वहाँ बेगर्स होते हैं, वेन यू गिव आर्म्स टू बेगर्स, तो और आप कुछ दान दक्षिणा कर रहे हो, देर इज अ डोनेशन बॉक्स, आप उसमें डाल रहे हो या पूजा पे चढ़ा रहे हो, कैन वी कॉल देम इकोनॉमिक एक्टिविटी? So it looks difficult to say. Here, other than activity of prayer, all are economic activities. So remember, when you are praying, that's not an economic activity. But when you are giving money, donating money, so there the economic plays a role. So wherever money comes in action, wherever money comes in question, there comes an economic motive and gain. So this is our day-to-day life. You can see, लाइक आप गए राशन लेने, आप गए दुकानदार को पैसे दिया, या आपकी सैलरी आई, मंथली सैलरी, दीज आर ऑल इकोनॉमिक एक्टिविटी. हाउएवर डिफाइनिंग इकोनॉमिक्स हैज नॉट बीन एन ईजी एंड इट हैज बीन प्रेजेंटेड हियर. सो every discipline has been complex and continuous task of that matters. Widely used and quoted definition. So yes, defining is not easy. So let us see the technicality involved in typical definition with the help of two such acclaimed definition taken as reference. So these are two important definitions. Economics is the study of how society uses scarce resources to produce valuable commodities and distribute them among different people. What is economics? It is the study. We know that resources that are available is scarce, so we are using those scarce resources and we are producing valuable commodities, and then we are distributing among the people based on their like rich people can buy more goods and poor cannot buy all of them. So based on their money status, these things are divided, how these things are distributed. So there are three steps, like using scarce resources to produce valuable commodities, okay, and then distributing among different people. So basically two steps is there in economics. So economic studies how individuals, firms, government and other organizations within our society make choices, and how these choices determine a society use of its resources. So these are two typical definitions. So economics study how who is going to use those resources. First definition or second definition are interrelated. So when we are saying how society uses scarce resources, and when we are saying specifically like how individuals like us, or some firms or businesses, industries or government or any other organization within our society, मतलब ये सोसाइटी में रहने वाले लोग ही हैं, they make choices how to use these scarce resources to produce valuable commodities, and how these choices determines a society's use of its resources. So whatever, like they have used this much amount of resources for food, this much for clothing, this much for houses, so and those choices whatever they make, the society is going to avail benefit from them. So basically these two are interrelated. Economics is study of how society uses its scarce resources is probably the most used definition, which is catchy as well as concise also. So if you see, this is a concise definition and this is like a detailed. So this is used like probably the most used definition. Okay. So next, heading towards micro and macro. You have already come across this term. So how did this term came upon? So after the Great Depression, This is very important topic. We will discuss this also separately. After the Great Depression during the 1930s, the domain of economics got divided into two broad branches, the micro and macroeconomics. John Maynard Keynes is considered the father of macroeconomics. You have to remember this name, John Maynard Keynes. He is the father of macroeconomics. The branch came into being after the publication of his seminal work, The General Theory of Employment, Interest and Money in 1936. 1936 में उन्होंने एक publication दिया था, The General Theory of Employment, Interest and Money, जॉन मेनर्ड केन्स ने, और इसी के बेस्ड पर एक नया ब्रांच आया, दैट इज द फादर ऑफ दैट इज मैक्रो इकोनॉमिक्स. सिंपली पुट, अगर हम लोग देखा जाए तो मैक्रो मतलब क्या, मैक्रो मीन्स अगर फॉरेस्ट को मैक्रो बोला जाए तो दोज ट्रीज विच आर द कंपोनेंट्स ऑफ मैक्रो इज एक्चुअली द पार्ट ऑफ माइक्रो. सो अगर हम लोग मान लें कि फॉरेस्ट मैक्रो इकोनॉमिक्स है तो ट्रीज माइक्रो इकोनॉमिक्स है. सो फॉरेस्ट क्या एक बिगर पिक्चर दे रहा है, जबकि ट्रीज जो है दोज आर द डिटेल्स दैट विल मेक अप द फॉरेस्ट. So micro and macro are the Greek words which mean small and big respectively, while micro takes a bottom-up approach. Bottom-up approach means you are taking small things like trees, many trees, and this is micro. So lots of trees makes a forest. While micro tries to understand the choices which consumer makes and the income they earn. So like in micro what we do, एक individual consumers जो है, what are their choices and what are their incomes, that is we study in microeconomics basically. While macro tries to understand the dynamics of inflation and growth. So macro is actually a top-down approach. Here we have forest and we are going towards like trees. So this is top-down approach. So basically micro tries to understand the choices which consumer make and the income they earn. Macro tries to understand the dynamics of inflation and growth. Yes. So कितना आपका प्राइस राइज हुआ, इसके वजह से चीज़ों के दाम बढ़ गए, कितना आपका ग्रोथ हुआ, ये मैक्रो डिफाइन करता है. दो दे अपेयर टू बी डिफरेंट, दे आर एक्चुअली इंटरडिपेंडेंट एंड कॉम्प्लीमेंट्री since there are many overlapping issues between them. For example, a rise in inflation will cause rise in the cost of raw materials, leading to rise in prices which consumers will pay. So हम लोग बोल रहे हैं कि ये थोड़ा अलग दिख रहा है, आपको लग रहा होगा माइक्रो अलग है, मैक्रो फॉरेस्ट है, माइक्रो ट्रीज है, बट एक्चुअली दे आर नॉट डिफरेंट, दे आर इंटरडिपेंडेंट एंड दे आर कॉम्प्लीमेंट्री. सो सपोज जैसे कि मैंने बताया कि मैक्रो में हम लोग इन्फ्लेशन और ग्रोथ को देखते हैं, वाइल मैक्रो में हम लोग कंज्यूमर कितना स्पेंड कर रहा है, क्या चॉइसेस कर रहा है, वो स्टडी करते हैं. सो मान लो कि इन्फ्लेशन हुआ, मान लो कि इन्फ्लेशन रेट बढ़ गया. सो क्या होगा, चीज़ों के दाम बढ़ेंगे तो आपका कॉस्ट ऑफ रॉ मटेरियल्स भी बढ़ेगा. इसकी वजह से क्या, रॉ मटेरियल्स बढ़ा तो जो आउटपुट होगा, जो प्रोडक्ट बनेंगे उसका भी प्राइस बढ़ेगा, क्योंकि जो चीज़ आपको पहले मान लो कि वूल आपको 20 रुपये मिलते थे, अब 50 रुपये हो गए. तो स्वेटर आपको जब 500 का मिलता था तो अब 700 का मिलेगा. ऐसे से चीज़ों के दाम बढ़ गया. तो अल्टीमेटली वो चीज़ कौन खरीद रहा है, कंज्यूमर. कंज्यूमर को वो पे करना होगा, तो कंज्यूमर वो चॉइस, हम लोग क्या कहते हैं, चॉइसेस ऑफ कंज्यूमर, देयर इनकम, वी स्टडी इन माइक्रो. सो अल्टीमेटली कंज्यूमर को अफेक्ट हो रहा है, सो माइक्रो इफेक्ट हो रहा है. So macro effect leads to micro effect. So micro theory evolved from the theories of how prices are determined. Okay. While macro on the other hand is rooted in empirical observation that existing theory could not explain. So micro theory आपका डिपेंड करता है कि कैसे प्राइस डिटरमाइन किया उस पर. लेकिन मैक्रो एक बहुत बड़ा लेवल है, बहुत ब्रॉड लेवल है। तो इसमें हम लोग जहाँ भी ऐसा कुछ होता है हम लोग ऑब्जर्वेशन लेते हैं। तो वी डीड एम्पेरिकल ऑब्जर्वेशन। No other existing theory can explain macro effect, so we did observation. Well, well, there are no competing schools of thought in micro macro. माइक्रो में कोई भी competing schools of thoughts नहीं है, लेकिन मैक्रो में schools like न्यू केनेशियन और न्यू क्लासिकल is there. Since the late 1980s, rather those divisions have been narrowing. So we have in micro there are two schools to study, and these divisions, I mean, so these divisions have been narrowing. So there is another core area of economics, that is econometrics, which is other than macro and micro. The field seeks to apply statistical and mathematical method to economic analysis. So econometrics में हम लोग statistical और mathematical methods को use करते हैं to analyze economics. So these sophisticated analysis of micro and macro subfields would not have been possible without the major advances made in econometrics over the past century or so. So we have increased the level of analysis of all the subfields of micro and macro, and this would not have been possible if if we would not have this much advanced in econometrics. So so this is basically a very short introduction of economics. There's a lot to learn in it, and basically if you have the basic, then it will be easier to understand. So right now we are studying theory, but simultaneously we will be diving in applications too. So stay tuned. In the next video we will continue after this. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.